Hey, Mount Tabor, sitting out on my front porch, enjoying the sunshine and also the glimpse sometimes of my neighbors, which is great. I don't know about you, but during this time of quarantine, I have really been burdened in my heart for folks who are lonely. And particularly, I think about the people who are sick with the coronavirus and those that have to go to the hospital. Because when they're taken to the hospital, um, none of their loved ones can stay with them. They have to be by themselves. Um, and I've been brought to tears many times thinking about that when you're frightened with a virus and then taken to a hospital and you can't see the faces of any of the people that are treating you, and there's no one who can hold your hand and tell you that it's okay. And that's really burdened my heart. And I think it's because, like I said on Sunday in Ignite, I quoted John Piper saying that God is always doing 10,000 things in your life and you're aware of maybe three of them. I think this is something that God is working on in my life and in my heart. While I've been burdened thinking of those sick folks alone in the hospital, I've also been heartened thinking about the medical professionals who are willing to go in harm's way and work with those folks and then sacrificially isolate themselves from their family so that they don't infect their family. And I've again been brought to tears by the beauty of, parents coming home from their shifts at the hospital or the clinic. The bees are after me. Heartened by thinking about those parents coming home and not able to hug their kids because they're going to go isolate themselves in a different room so that others don't get sick. So there is some beauty to be found in that isolation, that it is sacrificial, that it is selfless, that we are doing it so that others can have life, can have health. And all of this makes me think of Jesus and what he did on the cross. That one who was completely sinless took on my sin sacrificially so that I can be with a holy God, with God who is holy. Jesus took what separates me from God, my sin, on himself and was completely alone in doing that. And did it just so I could be in his presence and with him. And that's obviously so beautiful, but it's also so overwhelming. As I've sat with that this Holy Week, just thinking about how alone Jesus must have been his whole life as someone who was sinless, living in a world full of sin all around him, and no one could understand him, right? And then, his walk through Holy Week, being alone in the garden, alone on trial, alone as he's punished, alone on the cross. And in that moment when he died in Matthew 27, it says, my God, Jesus says, my God, why have you forsaken me? And we believe that God is holy, which means that in order to be holy, you are set apart. God is so holy that he cannot be with sin. And when all of our sin was upon the sacrificial lamb of Jesus, even God had to separate himself from that. And Jesus was so alone, carrying the burden of my sin, so that he could rise from the dead, and then I could be with the holy God. I don't know if it strikes you like it strikes me. It's really hit me deeply this Holy Week. That Jesus was willing to do that for us, that he sacrificed himself, that he alone went through hell. Hell is, I don't know if it's a physical place, I have no idea, but hell is separation from God. And Jesus willingly went through hell, took my sin and separated himself from God to defeat that sin, to take it on himself and then rise from the dead. It's just, again, brought me to tears this week. And it makes me think of, as I sit with it, the beauty of it, it makes me think of an old hymn that now is stuck in my mind that I'm really holding in my heart this Holy Week. And so I share it with you. How marvelous. I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene, and I wonder how he could love me, a sinner condemned, unclean. So I sing, how marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. I love you all. God bless.